Just as the title states, I bought every single model of the Nintendo DS ever made. Is this a collection or just an addiction? I've talked a lot about the 3DS on this channel, specifically because I bought my first one over the summer, and mostly because mine's modded and I can install any 3DS game ever made for free, and it's just been really fun to just explore this library of games that I've never played. But the Nintendo DS is a different story. This is actually my childhood DS. Considering I was 9 years old when this thing came out, I'm actually pretty impressed with how well I took care of it. Like, there's some surface scratches on the top, but like the touch screen, you can see some scrapes on, but it's in very good condition. So yeah, shout out to 9-year-old me for taking care of my things. And it even has the stylus in it, which this will come up in a little bit, but this is probably the most impressive part about this. And as a kid, the DS was very special to me because my family spent a lot of time driving in the car, specifically to go see my grandma who was 4 hours away, and we would drive to a lot. And so something like this was a godsend for those car trips. And this footage is being captured by my 3DS with a caption card in it. I just remember being absolutely mind blown that I could play Super Mario 64 on a handheld device in the car at any moment's notice. And I loved this game. A lot of people complain about the controls and that you have to control Mario and all the other characters with the D-pad. I never, ever once noticed an issue with that. I thought it controlled fine, and I sunk so many hours playing this game. I mean, you can see right there in the corner, I collected 140 stars. I loved this game. But I also sunk so many hours into these mini games, which are so much fun, and utilized the touchscreen and the dual screens really well. It just really showed how cool of a device the Nintendo DS was. And not only am I proud of myself for taking good care of my DS, but I also kept all the cases and manuals. Well, almost all the manuals. God dang it, 9-year-old Scott, I was giving you so much credit. Where's the manual for Super Mario DS? No, God dang it. Well, I was about to show off my copy of Pokemon Platinum, but 30-year-old me and 9-year-old me have some beef. What the heck did I do with the manuals? God dang it, man. No. But what I was gonna say is I'm glad I hung on to the cases, because I usually kept my games in these silly little plastic containers, which it's a miracle I didn't lose my games. Although my copy, for example, of Yoshi Island DS is still in my childhood home somewhere in one of these little cases. My mom called me the other day and said, "Oh, I found one of these. It had 4 games in it." I said, "Oh, great. I have the cases here. Like, hold on to them." And she came to visit recently, and I said, "Oh, bring those DS games with you when you come visit." And she said, "Oh, I don't know what I did with them." So they're in my house somewhere. Someday I can play Yoshi Island DS again. Well, I'm gonna piss myself off a little bit more, but some of my favorites as a kid also, WarioWare Touched. Manuals not in there. Animal Crossing Wild World. That one has the manual. Hooray. Mario Hoops 3-on-3. I always loved every Mario sports game. No manual in that one. And Pokemon Diamond. For the love of God, please. If I find a time machine, I'm going back in time and punching myself. God dang it. I also love going on my copy of Pokemon Diamond because, as you can see here, I did eventually get an action replay and hack in a whole bunch of shiny Pokemon legendaries. And I remember having so much fun doing this and catching all these Pokemon. But even with the fond memories of this thing and having it for almost 20 years, I would say for the past 10, maybe 15, I have hardly touched this thing. Because handheld gaming for me was always something to play on the go. Like, I never really remember playing my DS a whole lot, like in my house, when I could be playing my GameCube or my Xbox or whatever consoles I had. Like, console gaming was always the thing to do in the house. This was always the thing to do to spend your time in the car to make those 3 hours not so miserable. But I just kept thinking, like, man, I love my 3DS so much. Why can't I get back into the regular DS? But one thing I always saw online was people complaining about this old school clamshell model, I think they call it, and that the other models were a much better experience. But this is all I've ever known. I never played any of the other DS models. My brother had the DS Lite, but I never really saw the point of it. I always preferred my OG clamshell. I mean, this thing is special to me. I would sell all of those other DS models I showed at the beginning before I would get rid of this thing. But the main complaint I always saw was the screen, that the screen is dim and that it just doesn't look as good as the other models. Again, never really understood that until one day I was playing Final Fantasy 1 on my Game Boy SP, and the SP was about to die, so I figured, what the heck, I'll pop it into my DS since it's backwards compatible. Well, this Game Boy SP is an AGS 101, meaning that it has a brighter backlit screen than the original 001 model. So when I took out my Pokemon Leaf Green copy that I always keep in this thing and popped in Final Fantasy 1 and started playing it, I immediately realized, oh, this screen is pretty dim. I couldn't play it. Like, I tried playing it and it just was so bad to me. I was like, oh, no wonder people complain about this. Like, it is really dim. And that's what led me down the rabbit hole to acquire these three devices: the DS Lite, the DSi, and the DSi XL. And all three of these have like a little story of how I got them. Now, this DS Lite was the first one I purchased, and I'll go ahead and spoil it. All of these came from Facebook Marketplace, starting off with this, I think it's the pink coral DS Lite. I didn't think I'd like this color, but I actually love it. I just love how different it is from the rest of the DS models I have. But the funniest thing is I did not show up to buy this. I showed up to buy this. This is also a DS Lite. I saw a Facebook Marketplace post. It was either for $25 or $35 for this DS Lite. And since I'd been wanting to try it, I said, oh, heck yeah, I'll go drive out and meet the lady. And I was talking to her and I handed her the cash and she goes, oh, I also have this pink one. Do you want that? And she wasn't even gonna charge me for it. Like, I think she wanted $35 for both of these. Like, while talking to her, she was like, yeah, like my kid mostly just plays the Switch now. And I said something about the Switch too. She goes, oh yeah, I'm starting to save up to get her one of those. So I gave her $45 for both of these, but I made one small little mistake. I didn't test them. See that right there? This black DS is pretty messed up. Got that black spot on the screen. This is a Lego Ninjago game. If I pop a game into it, unfortunately does not read games. I've tried cleaning it. The next thing I think I need to do is just completely take it apart. I would maybe like to try to reshell it. I don't know. I'm just kind of holding on to this thing because it's broken. I don't know what to do with it. But thank God, by giving her more money, I still got something out of it because this DS Lite is in perfect condition. And you can tell. Look how much brighter that is. Games look way better on this thing. It was like seeing some of these DS games for the first time when I started playing them. Unfortunately, it did not come with the stylus, so I've been having to use the stylus on my OG DS. Something you'll see a little theme of. But here's Professor Layton in the Curious Village. I was playing this last night, and it's a fantastic game. I want to do a separate video talking about games for it, but it is just an awesome device. It's a little weird that the GBA games stick out like that if you play backwards compatible. But like the fact that you can play all your GBA games and your DS games and the picture looks much brighter and crisper and just has a more premium feel to it. Like honestly, if I were to buy one DS, I would probably buy this one just because it can play both. And for the longest time, I thought these two models were the only models. I thought it was these two and then the 3DS. But God, probably this past year or so, like it was very recent I learned of it. But yeah, I learned that these DSi models with a camera exist, which to me seems kind of pointless. Like what is the point of having cameras on this thing? But when I think back to when I was a kid, like I wasted a lot of time on PictoChat. Like I remember being at a swim meet for my brother and going on my DS and going on PictoChat and seeing that there was like all sorts of other kids on PictoChat all drawing pictures, some of them probably inappropriate. But I remember wasting time on silly little stuff like this, so I do think as a kid the camera feature would have been kind of cool. But the fact that you can't play Game Boy games, I always just thought like, what is the point of these two models? And that's why I bought them. Because I wanted to find out. So this was also a Facebook Marketplace pickup. It is modded with this weird, like creepy screen. I thought this was like a woman tied to a ship, but it's just like an actual ship with the model of a woman like attached to it. And it says like no one, like it's kind of creepy. Like why does the screen look like this? But luckily you still can launch into the regular screen. And on this one, I've actually been playing Henry Hatsworth, which is such a funny little 2D platformer. I've talked about it on another video. But when playing this game, I noticed like the screen and the system is just a little bit bigger, but that little bit tiny difference with these 30-year-old adult man hands, it makes a difference, and it does feel nicer playing on this device than the DS Lite, which is just a little bit tinier, making this just that much more comfortable. And it's for that reason, like I think if I was to take one of these on the go, I would probably choose this one if I wasn't planning to play any Game Boy games, just because of that extra little comfort feature. And I just like the buttons better. Like the buttons, you can probably hear it in the mic, they're just clickier, and it's just a nice feedback when you're playing the game versus the DS Lite, which is the buttons are just a little bit mushy to push, if that makes sense. So I don't know, it just makes it feel a little bit more premium when you play the DSi. I don't know if all the DSi's are like this, but this finish is like a matte black, which I just like the feel of, versus the DS Lite, which is more shiny, glossy, plasticky. Again, I don't know if that's every one, but that's just the two models I have, and I prefer the matte for sure. So even though it's completely unnecessary, like if you have this model, you do not need this one. I do like this one better. Not to mention it came with this cool little case that I can put like SD cards and games in right here. Like this would be the perfect little thing on the go. Bring some games, throw it in my backpack. I just really liked this case a lot. And it came just like this with the DS and the games in it. I got this all for $60 off Facebook Marketplace. If you are looking for something specific, it takes some work, like you kind of spend a lot of time on there, but just refresh Facebook Marketplace every once in a while, because you'll be shocked at the amount of things you can find with enough effort looking on there and get things for a great price. So yeah, for $60, it came with Overlord Minions, Cooking Mama, Panzer Tactics, and Professor Layton. I actually already have Cooking Mama, so I'll probably trade this to GameStop or do something to get some money back. But yeah, I was super happy with this pickup. I mean, for $60, it was just too hard to pass up. Like I was not planning on buying all of these DS models. It just sort of happened. I just sort of happened to see them all on Facebook Marketplace and buy them. But yeah, let's get into the DSi XL. I love the DSi XL because like I mentioned with my 30-year-old man hands, this is a device made for adults. Especially with games that require the touchscreen a lot. It feels like almost you're playing on like a small tablet. After playing DS games on this thing, it's like you're experiencing the DS games for the first time all over again. And they play like I remember DS games looking and feeling. And it's not like the DS ever had that great of resolution. To me, it is just insane how this bigger screen somehow still makes these DS games look good. Like anytime you play a DS game with 3D models, you definitely notice like some jagged edges and it can look a little rough, but even blown up on this bigger screen, which I mean, just look at the size of this compared to this. Like the screens are significantly bigger. Somehow the picture just looks incredible. And I am planning on playing a bunch of DS games specifically on this model. After playing with all of these, this is easily my favorite. Like I know I said I'd recommend this one because you can play Game Boy Advance games, which is really cool. And like, I'd love that feature. Taking this on a trip if there were multiple games I wanted to bring with me. This is the best Nintendo DS, like period. Unless you have like tiny hands or portability is an issue with you, this is my favorite model. And because of how big it is, I don't think I would take this with me a lot, like on the go. I think I would take the DSi instead, especially with this little case. Like this is the case with the DSi in it, and this is the DSi XL. They're almost like the same size. So I'd much rather take this, have my device protected, and bring some games with me. But yeah, at night, I've been sitting on my couch and playing this DSi XL and re-exploring the Nintendo DS for the first time in years. Like it has made me fall back in love with the DS that I had such a fond memory as a child, but was struggling to get back into. And I've started to recollect games for it, and I'm really looking forward to playing some of these for the first time. I've seen people say that this is the best game on the DS. I haven't played it yet, but I'm really excited to play a more adult-oriented game on it, since most of the games I had as a kid were like Pokemon and Mario. Zelda Phantom Hourglass, I have no idea why I didn't have this as a kid. I hear some people don't like this as much as other Zelda games, but I'm still excited to try it. And then 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. I don't think think it's a horror game, but I hear it's like a story about being these 9 people being captured and having 9 hours to escape. My dog got really excited about this apparently. And yeah, it's rated M. Like, I don't think I have a single other rated M game for the DS. So these are 3 that I'm really looking forward to playing. Oh, and I forgot to talk about the Facebook Marketplace pickup. Again, this was Facebook Marketplace. It actually did have a stylus. It had this bright pink stylus, which was really bothering me. But I finally remembered that I was at my local retro GameStop the other day, and I was complaining to the store owner that every time I buy a DS, they don't have the stylus. And she actually gave me a DSi XL stylus. Like, this was months ago, and look at that. It's perfect. I don't know if this is supposed to be blue, but oh my God, it just made me so happy to pop that in there and have a stylus for it, since all these other freaking DSs never had styluses. And then I took that pink one from the that was in the XL, and it actually fits in the DSi. So at least this has a stylus. But yeah, hopefully I can actually get a black one for it at some point. And it was on a little bit of the pricier side. I paid $110 for it. But as you can see right there, it came with the box. And they definitely wanted you to know that this was an XL model, because this box is huge. I mean, this is the box for my new 3DS XL, and it is so much smaller. They were trying to compensate for something, apparently. But it also came with all of these games, this whole stack, which are upside down. There we go. Most of them are shovelware. Like, I don't see myself playing Wheel of Fortune or Sushi Academy or Carnival Games or Deal or No Deal. I need to show this game in a video. This is the worst game I think I've ever played in my life. Marker Man Adventures. Lego Battles Ninjago, My Sims, Speed Racer, which was unfortunately freaking broken. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, like the pins are like bent, so it won't even fit in the DS. I may have lost the manuals as a kid, but at least I didn't break my freaking games. Lego Indiana Jones 1 and 2. And then these being the ones I'll probably keep. Cooking Mama, again, I have it in that DSi case, but I have it here now. Complete in box. Which is cool. Lego Batman, which just seems cool enough to keep. And Mario Kart DS. Like, a lot of people say this is the best Mario Kart, like straight up. And yeah, I didn't have this for some reason, so I have it now complete in box. So that was a really cool pickup. So yeah, for $110, I figured that was a good deal. I can maybe sell off some of those games I don't need and get some money back. And then to finally solve the problem of not having a stylus, I bought this big fat stylus off of eBay. I think it was like $10. And honestly, like, this is better than any of the styluses that come with the DSs. Like, again, with big fat adult man hands, it's much easier to hold this and way more enjoyable to play any games that require a stylus. So I highly recommend picking up one of these if you get sick of these tiny little pieces of garbage that nobody can seem to keep track of, apparently. And so yeah, that's my journey with the Nintendo DS and how I ended up buying a model of every single one. And even though my childhood original clamshell model is the worst out of all of them, still sometimes I play it just to get a little nostalgia. And honestly, sometimes if a game requires a lot of touchscreen, I like playing it on this. Since I don't care if this screen takes a little bit more abuse. And it's funny, I actually do like how thick it is. Like, it's nice to have something in your palms with the thicker base than playing on like the DS Lite, which doesn't have a whole lot there. And wow, I'm looking at the recording time and I talked about this a lot longer than I was expecting. I don't ever script any of these videos. I just turn the camera on and start yapping. But I think we covered a lot of good stuff. This was really fun to kind of go down memory lane and show off this goofy little collection I've acquired. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Which model is your favorite? Did you grow up with any of these models? Are you looking to buy any of these? I love chatting with people in the comments about this stuff, so just let me know. And at some point, I'll dive in and play these, and I'm really looking forward to talking about them as well. So if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, click buttons, all that good stuff. ScootTube, out.